Hey guys, alright, so here with Trent. When he is talking with the investigator, watch his body posture. Right now, he has his legs crossed and his foot out. He has his hands in his lap, so his hands are visible. His head's a little forward. So at this point, seems to be telling the truth. Let's watch.
Offer me money, and
First time.
I took it.
Okay, good. This is very good. You're doing much better. Would it be helpful? I think maybe it would be helpful if we ask questions and then you can just tell us the truth. Because I can see it in your eyes and in your chest. It's maybe hard to talk about. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Can we just ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
He's not making eye contact either, so that's bothersome a little bit. Too much eye contact is a form of deception. No eye contact is a form of deception. It's all in the conversation and what they're talking about. And more goes along with the eye contact as well. Let's continue watching, because it does shift.
how did he find you on Meet Me?
It has Meet Me has a thing about it to where you can see people's distance. So say you want to filter people out, say look at.
Okay, so now he crosses his arms. I don't know if he's just really highly stressed and uncomfortable, or if he's being deceptive here. Let's listen a little bit more, and then I'll show you guys something.
For men near you, looking for LGBT men.
Eye contact.
So I'm assuming that's how. I don't know. He never told me.
Okay. So then your profile was, open and willing to meeting people, part of the LGBTQ community, gay. Okay. And then he, it sounds like, was experimental, looking for someone maybe to kind of show him the ropes. Is that fair? Okay. Also maybe looking for an uncomplicated money transaction, sex, and get out. Is that accurate? Okay, and don't let me put words in your mouth. Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the first time you guys meet, does he find you or do you find him?
He finds me.
Okay, are you sure about that? Mm-hmm. Keeping in mind that we have his phone and know the answer, are you pretty sure that he found you?
He sought me out originally, but there was a time I thought he was going to bail out, so.
Oh, I got you, okay. So then that first time he meets you, what was the time frame again?
Right before July 4th.
Okay, and 2017.
Okay, let's pull this article up. Because, again, he gets asked a question and he shifts his body. Is he being deceptive? Kind of looks like it. If his hands weren't hidden and he just had his legs crossed, I think I'd be okay and think he's telling the truth. It looks like that's his comfortable position. We all have a different comfortable position we sit in. But crossing the arms is hiding something. So let's get this article up. Okay, here we are. The foundation of a subject's nonverbal communication is his posture. How a person's body is positioned in a chair often dictates arm and leg movements, and in some cases, even eye contact. 3 inferences. I want to say interferences, but that's not right. Inferences can be drawn from a subject's posture, the person's level of interest, their emotional involvement, and their level of confidence. A subject's posture reflects internal thoughts. Dynamic versus static. An important assessment of subjects' postures is the extent of change within the posture over the period of 30 to 40 minutes in the interview. For a number of reasons, a truthful subject will exhibit a variety of different postures throughout the course of an interview. These postures will be appropriate given the content of conversation during the interview. A deceptive subject, on the other hand, may assume an initial posture and never significantly deviate from that posture. A deceptive subject may assume an initial posture and never significantly deviate from the posture. So as we go along, we need to pay attention to that with Trent, because he doesn't so far seem to do a lot of moving. It is theorized that the deceptive subject is exerting so much thought and energy to generate verbal responses to the interviewer's questions that nonverbal communication becomes frozen. A static posture clearly reflects a lack of confidence within the subject. A forward versus retracted posture. When a subject leans forward in the chair during a response, he is nonverbally reinforcing the verbal content of his response. This is frequently seen in truthful subjects during early portions of the interview. I haven't seen him lean forward. As the interviewer progresses, the truthful subject will assume a more relaxed and comfortable posture in the chair. Some deceptive subjects will lean forward in the chair throughout the entire interview. This is challenging behavior similar to the deceptive subject who stares at the investigator throughout the entire interview. So then again, not making eye contact with him and then making eye contact with him would be normal. So it's okay that he's not making eye contact when he's necessarily answering the question. He could be reflecting, thinking back onto some things. Let's see here. A retracted posture describes one in which the subject's feet or hands are restricted in some manner. This is most typical of the deceptive subject. The subject's feet may be pulled up under the chair or tucked behind the front legs of the chair. In unusual cases, a subject may actually tuck a foot under his thigh so as to partially sit on his foot. When the subject's feet are retracted in this manner, it prevents the body from leaning forward to reinforce the strength of a verbal response. With respect to hands, the deceptive subject may sit on his hands or keep his hands wedged between the knees. This posture becomes involved during conversation to reinforce a verbal response. Okay, continuing. A truthful subject exhibits high levels of interest and emotional involvement during an interview. To fully communicate with the interviewer, he will align his body with that of the interviewer. Well, his body is aligned with the detective. So that is a truthful body language that he is using. Doesn't mean he's being truthful still, but that's a sign. The subject's entire body, the head, shoulders, and hips are all directly facing the interviewer. On the other hand, a deceptive subject may turn his legs and hips away from the interviewer. This posture reflects a lack of interest or emotional detachment. So let's look at him really quick before we keep going on. So what do you guys think? It seems he's lined up about as good as he can be with him, except for when his head was looking this way that one time. But again, doesn't really mean anything. He's even moved towards, in the chair here, more towards Graham. Sitting more in the corner here, so he's trying to align his body there. All right, let's listen more.
Okay. He finds you, you guys meet, money and sex. Is that right? Okay. How much money?
That was the time, it was 250.
Oh, okay. First time, 250. Sex was oral sex? Okay. You perform on him? Does he perform on you?
Yes, but not the climax.
Okay. And then tell me about the negotiation. How does that work?
He looked down when he was saying that.
He tried giving me $30 and...
Jeez, Trent, she's go cheap on you.
Yeah, and I said no, it's not how this is going to work. And then the next thing he handed me was $250.
Oh wow, okay.
All 20s and 10.
Okay.
I think he's lying there. He shifted when he was talking. This is the thing. I think that he did have a meetup with Chris. I really do. However, I do not think Trent tells the full truth. I think he adds to the story. I think he makes it more than what it is. Anyways, continuing.
You're pretty sure it was $250 and it was cash. Okay. Was there anything about the pre-meeting where he knew he needed to bring money?
Yeah, it was insinuated.
Okay. And how was that?
I put out there half-jokingly that I don't do anything for free with someone that I don't know from a hole in the ground.
Okay. Good. This is perfect. I gotta tell you, I can tell the difference between when you're telling the truth and we're getting it out and about an hour ago when we were kind of struggling. Okay. Is it fair to say that you'd rather not give us Damien's phone number? Okay. Is it fair to say that it's on that phone? On your phone, or somehow you know Damien's phone number?
I really did erase the text
Okay.
and everything because I'm currently seeing a guy and just trying to change everything.
Okay.
Damien was part of a pretty toxic,
Right.
hard part of my life.
Okay. And by the way, I'm really sorry about that. That's not good at all.
I mean, he really doesn't do a bunch of moving. So is he just really concentrating on what he's going to say? And like they said in that article, like in an emotional freeze, like you just freeze there. However, like he does get asked a question and he looks down when he responds, and then he gets asked a question and he kind of shifts his shoulders a little bit. I don't know. He's hard to read because he doesn't show a lot of movement.
Okay, I'm glad you're out of that. Okay, so then how many meetings would you say in total there were between you and
Where
Marcus?
money was exchanged?
Yes, where money was exchanged.
4.
4? You pretty sure about that? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all right. I mean,
4.
was it
4 or 5?
Was it 20 or was it 4?
It was 4 or 5.
Okay. And again, keep in mind, we know quite a bit. We know his phone. 4 or 5. Okay. So that was money times, and each time was it sex, oral sex, all that? Was it all of the above every time?
No, there was one time when he got...
Okay, now he looked up, and that's trying to remember. Like, you look up when you're trying to think of something. Like, so I think he's like trying to recall in his memory what he's trying to answer. But if you also see here with Graham, he's leaned in forward. His hands are moving when he's talking. His head is nodding. That's normal. What's the word? Normal behavior when you're talking to someone, discussing something. And Trent's is just frozen.
He gave me the 100, the time he gave me 160. The front, and then we got in the back seat and he just got really aggressive and there was no oral sex or anything, it just went to intercourse.
Okay. It's important for us to kind of get some of those details, and I'm sure it's uncomfortable to talk about. Was it him having sex with you or you having sex with him?
Yes.
Okay.
It was him having sex with me.
Him having sex with you. Okay. Okay, so then 4 or 5 times, how many times did you guys meet total, even if money wasn't exchanged?
Probably 10.
10 times?
10 to 12.
Okay, and then so those 5 to 7 times when you're not exchanging money, what was going on?
He really did talk to me about struggling with his sexuality and stuff, so that was usually what it was.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. Because when he begins to talk, his head moves. And when he was answering that question towards the end, however, the audio in the video is a tad off, but he's shaking his head no when he's saying something. Let's look at that again.
Struggling with his sexuality and stuff, so that was usually what it was.
Okay.
He really did talk to me about struggling with his sexuality and stuff, so that was usually what it was.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot of head movement.
He really did talk to me about struggling with his sexuality and stuff, so that was usually what it was.
Okay.
Okay, he lowers his voice even more, even though this whole time he's pretty much whispering. But as he's saying it, he's saying he's struggling with his, instead of saying he's struggling with. That's just my interpretation of that.
So then it sounds like he really is, at least bi or maybe even gay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was there talks about him struggling with being in a heterosexual marriage? What did he say?
After I found out, he told me that he was the victim of emotional and verbal abuse, and she treated him like he was stupid. And
You believe?
He lines back up, and he's making eye contact. Again, like I've told you, I think that Chris did meet Trent. I think they had sexual relations. I think Trent lies a lot in the interview. But like right here when he's talking to the detective, I think he's being truthful.
at the time, yeah, I did.
What about now?
No.
Because he murdered her, or why?
He lied to hundreds of millions of people on TV.
Yeah, okay. Good. So you got good instincts because you picked up on that, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. It seems like you have pretty good instincts for people. Earlier when you said that, I was like, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, you really do, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to after this situation.
Well, believe me, he fooled everyone. He fooled everyone. So, this is just...
Nobody will suspect anything.
Right.
Because I honestly, like I said before this, I would have told you he was a dirty, nice, kind-hearted guy.
Right. Who didn't know how to come out, didn't know how to... His marriage, maybe was afraid or ashamed or whatever. Okay.
Okay, let's look at that again.
He's a kind-hearted guy.
Right. Who didn't know how to come out, didn't know how to... His marriage, maybe was afraid or ashamed.
See the shoulders moving when he's talking.
Who didn't know how to come out, didn't know how to... His marriage, maybe was afraid or ashamed or whatever. Okay.
Since he doesn't give us a lot to go off with his body language because he's so frozen, any little movement means something.
So then, those 5 or 7 times, or whatever it was, when you met him without money, why? Why go and talk to him?
Because I was empathetic. I can't say that, and excuse me if I'm mixing these words up, I can't say that I was sympathetic because I was outed when I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of got thrown to the wolves then. I didn't really know.
Okay, so again, he's shifting. So you can take this as, and he's talking about his past, and he was outed when he was 13. So no reason to necessarily lie about that. So the shift could indicate he's being truthful. So let's see.
Okay. So then, those 5 or 7 times, or whatever it was, when you met him without money, why? Why go and talk to him?
Because I was empathetic. I can't say that, and excuse me if I'm mixing these words up, I can't say that I was sympathetic because I was...
He's smiling.
I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of got thrown to the wolves then. I didn't really
He's just clearly very uncomfortable talking about this part anyways.
know what it was like to live in the closet or anything, because I was...
So when you were talking about that part, that was all true. What happened? Did you confide in someone and they told everyone?
This isn't the first time I've been a part of an investigation. I testified against 2 men for child trafficking and child solicitation.
Okay, so obviously this can be verified, right? And when he was talking, he was looking this way. And earlier I had referenced maybe he's not being truthful because he wasn't making eye contact. It doesn't always mean it. And so I think he's being truthful when he was looking right here. So again, I think he's being truthful because this can be verified.
I'm sorry to hear that. Were you involved as part of being trafficked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They got a warrant for their hard drive, and this was 2 years ago, but on their hard drive they had stuff saved from 2004 and 2003, which would make, at the time, I was 14 or 15.
Is he kind of rocking?
There's no, like that's, I can't remember the term.
Seems like he's kind of rocking a little bit back and forth. And that can be just to comfort himself. Because what he went through in the past, talking about this case, the other case, is probably very tragic. It would definitely mess with you. So, I still just can't get over how frozen he is the whole time.
Yeah, there's no statute of limitations on that. So they found the hard drive with webcam videos of me, and it had my initials, and it's had 10 and 89 on it. So the detectives in Laramie County and Retracted County could have, figured it out. And they reached out to me because without my testimony, it would just see 2 other minors' testimony that they got caught with. They would have only got 3 to 5. And with my testimony, one went away for 35 years and the other one went away for 42, with possibility for parole after 15.
What are their names?
Robert Martinez and Harvey DeSalms.
Okay, so I think there towards the end he was being... Sorry, hold on. Think he's being truthful after watching the whole thing, this whole clip. I think that he's being pretty truthful through most of it. I don't know. He's not as talkative, expressive as Nicole Kessinger. Harder to read, for sure. He doesn't go into long-winded stories. He's sticking to the basics. Yes, no, questions asked, answered. So, you gotta assess all that as you go along with it. Right? Alright, well that's my assessment on this part of Trent Bolte. So, like, subscribe, share, or don't. Bye!